Contingency log number 102, code name, the boy who lived when I'd lost my parents. The trauma still following me to this day. My entire life taking a turn towards becoming the man I am today. I often look back and remind myself how much worse it could have been, and how during the moment when I felt truly alone, I had someone embrace me as his own and stick by me after all these years. Sometimes I have to wonder just how different things could have been without that one factor. Harry Potter, however, was not afforded that, at least not at first. Orphaned as an infant, his parents taken from him by a man who would later come back to try and finish the job, Potter would find himself under the care of his aunt and uncle, and I use the term care as loosely as possible, as they treated him as nothing more than a burden for most of his young life, never once being looked after as one should, living under the stairs in a cramped closet. I can only wonder how long he would continue to live like this had he not been given the letter which would change his life. This being his invitation to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. It's here where his life would see an improvement, and given he'd end up facing several life-threatening events in his time there, that says a lot about his prior living situation. He would make friends while in Hogwarts, and while not official, would be adopted by someone who would treat him like a true member of the family. But he would also make just as many enemies, all due to the actions of Voldemort, the man who killed Harry's parents and had many dark plans for the future, ones which would require he kill Harry to make it happen, as a prophecy would claim him to be one who could put a stop to him. Though if you ask me, he shouldn't have been quick to dismiss the other option, considering that would come back to bite him later on. But this contingency isn't about him. While attending school, Harry would find himself needing to learn quickly if he wanted a chance to defend himself against his enemies. The spells he learned ranging from the practical to combat-related magic, the latter of which he'd end up using a lot for obvious reasons. But he would also find he had some talent when it came to something else, that being his ability to fly on a flying nimbus, a broomstick which he uses in a sport known as quidditch, something that requires incredible flying ability and quick reactions if one wishes to be successful in it. This skill would later come in handy when needing to outmaneuver a deadly dragon. Someone should really look into this school's safety regulations. In his time, Harry had faced and survived encounters with many dangers, having been one of the few to survive against a troll, learned how to counter and expel Dementors, had to battle and defeat multiple Death Eaters, and most importantly, managed to put an end to Voldemort, not only saving the wizarding world, but avenging his parents in the process. Before getting to the contingency, I must commend Harry on something, before being sent to Hogwarts at the age of 11. Before he made close friends, rivals, gained his popularity from events he would perform on his own. Harry was treated as nothing, given no love, not even a second thought, his aunt and uncle giving him nothing more than the bare minimum. Actually, I don't believe he was even given a proper education before Hogwarts either. And yet he didn't internalize that hate, didn't allow it to drag him down, grow a disdain for others for having what he didn't. Harry would instead rise up against it, becoming a good person, someone who showed he was worth so much more through actions. Eventually parting ways with them for the final time, getting some closure with at least one member of that family before moving on, and eventually even giving up his own life so that he could finally put an end to all the suffering that Voldemort was spreading. He's proof that our surroundings don't always dictate who we become. While Harry is a competent wizard, countering him isn't as difficult as one would believe it to be. As I've both faced and allied myself with many magic users in my time, I am more than accustomed with dealing with them, which comes down to a few factors, each of which can be different depending on the wizard. For starters, we have Harry's wand. Now, while wizards from this world are more than capable of casting spells without the use of a wand, it can be more difficult, as a wand is what is used to help them in focusing their magic. and the quality of the wand can also help strengthen the spells one casts. That said, despite how integral they are for a wizard, wands are also incredibly fragile, and any form of damage that can occur to them can cause spells to misfire. As such, it would be my first target should I need to face him, either disarm him of it or attempt to destroy the wand outright. Which brings me to the second phase, which would be to stop him from using vocal spells. I am aware the wizards can cast spells non-vocally as well, but that requires more concentration, and without a wand in hand, that would make things far more difficult. There is a chance that he could attempt an escape on his Nimbus, and I am very curious to see if he could outfly the bat plane. But once this becomes a physical confrontation, things will go south for Harry very quickly. As while Harry had become a strong wizard over the years, his physical abilities have lagged behind to say the least. If you also have a character you wish for me to cover, or just want to support this channel, I'll have a link to my Ko-fi page. There will also be a Google Doc with the list of characters who have ever been done or already commissioned by others.